All right, I'm here with Ariege Misherghi, one of my favorite people from Intuit QuickBooks, and she is Director of Product Management for QuickBooks Online Accountant. Hi, Ariege.
Hey, how's it going, Hector?
Can you explain to me what that means? What's your position? What's your role?
It's a great question. So at Intuit, product managers are people who connect and learn from customers. So our objective is to get out there, learn what challenges customers encounter, and figure out ways to solve those problems. We then work with engineers and designers and the rest of the team to focus our attention on the biggest problems and ultimately deliver value and benefit to our customers through our product offerings.
Yeah. All right, and sorry about that. So doing a
you're
little
good.
focus check. So we're here at the council. It's called the Intuit Accountants Council, and this is it's a two-year term, and this is actually my last term.
Yeah.
And this is all NDA, so we can't discuss the details.
Yeah.
But some of the interesting pieces that go on the council is a product manager, folks that work in your team, present to us, hey, this is what we're thinking about. This is how we're thinking about making QuickBooks Online Accountant better. Adding new features or solving for problems that you're not really sure
Exactly.
what features will solve that problem, but then also trying to gauge whether or not it is a real problem or is it just a small segment.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the interesting things that you've learned from working with accountants, and what are like those pressing pain points? What are those pressing pain points, and where's the urgency around what? Come on, man, messing up my interview. I'm not even gonna edit that. All right, I'm gonna put your home address there so you get all the heat mail. So what have you learned about how accountants are giving you guys feedback about what are the pressing points in terms of their usage of QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online? What interesting things have you learned over the years on that?
Yeah, well, one of the things that is really heartening for me is that when you talk to accountants around the world, and it's true from council to council, it's true when I go to Toronto, when I go to Australia, when I spend time here in California or in other states, is our vision resonates, and that's effectively this. Accountants unilaterally are looking for ways to optimize the way that they run their practice.
Right.
They're looking for ways to streamline operations so that they can spend more time on the things that they value more. They can spend more time advising their clients and building relationships and growing their business. Right. The second challenge that we hear from accountants across the world and across the country is, and council to council, this is super consistent, is accountants and bookkeepers feel like they may not be the best marketers, but they are exceptional at what they do, and they're looking for ways to grow. And so those are two major durable pillars that we've had to our strategy, and we focus a lot of our work with accounting professionals around those two things.
Just a quick question. Yeah. Why does accountants looking for ways to grow matter to you so much?
Oh, that's a good question. It matters to me, number one, because accountants are our partners, and our primary objective as product managers is to look for ways to eliminate problems that accounting professionals face. The other reason, which is huge, is another one of our customers, small business owners, self-employed consumers. We know that they are more successful when they connect to an accounting professional. And I think you had a conversation with Rich earlier today where he shared with you that 89% of small business owners say that they're more successful when they connect to an accounting professional. Right. So if we're supporting accounting professionals and we're supporting small business owners, this is a no-brainer. Right. Like, our objective is to connect small businesses and accountants because it solves an accountant problem and small businesses become more successful. Right. There is nobody else there who shares this mission that we have to power prosperity around the world more than accountants, right? Right. And so it's a natural partnership.
And then what are some of the ways for the folks that maybe already work with QuickBooks, QuickBooks Online, maybe they only work with QuickBooks Desktop? What are some of the ways that Intuit puts their money where their mouth is and actually impacts the accountants' lives?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'll share a few of them. So two major strategic initiatives that we have are to drive leads to accounting professionals to help them grow through our Find a Pro Advisor experience. It's totally free. You sign up for a QuickBooks Online accountant. You go through education and training courses on QuickBooks Online to get your certification. And then we'll publish your profile on a directory where over 1 million small businesses are searching for an accounting professional like you every year. And every day we drive over 750 leads to accounting professionals. So that's
So the folks that go into the Find a Pro Advisor website,
Yeah.
they put in their zip code, their industry, whatever.
That's exactly right.
And they search, I'm looking for an accountant. And they get a list of a whole bunch because there's a lot of accountants everywhere.
That's right.
So the 750 means 750 people click on connect me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're actively reaching out to the accountant that they
Right.
see or the bookkeeper
Right.
that they see. Thanks for clarifying.
Right.
And our goal in those searches, by the way, is to really optimize that connection, is to make sure that the person who's searching finds an accounting professional that meets their needs, and vice versa, that accountants are getting high quality leads, leads that are good for their business.
Right.
So that's one. The other is we are deeply investing in building out practice management.
Okay.
Accounting,
Which is the product management piece of your job.
yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Yeah, like actually managing what these new features are going to look like and releasing those featurettes as time goes and getting feedback from accountants to see how much better the app or the new features are getting. So you talk about practice management. Can you define practice management?
Yeah, you know what's funny is there are as many definitions for practice management as there are accounting professionals in the world. But what we've landed on as our goal for practice management is to create one place accountants go to manage their entire practice and all their clients end to end. So not just QuickBooks clients, but all your clients. Not just accounting, but accounting, tax, payroll. If you're managing clients through third-party apps, we want to be that one place you go to manage all your clients and all your work. Our goal is to eliminate this fear that we've seen accountants have, that something will fall through the cracks. I mean, you know better than anybody that accountants and bookkeepers are, they live this life of deadlines. I mean, and it's constant, right? Like if you run one payroll for one client one time, you got a dozen deadlines you need to remember.
Right.
And the scary thing is accountants are keeping that in their mind, or they're using Excel or Notepad or something like that to keep track. So our goal is to build out an amazing practice management suite where accountants can go to this one place to manage their entire practice, and it's totally free.
Part of the QuickBooks Online accountant platform.
That's exactly right. And it's all built on QuickBooks.
Right.
So those are two examples. I'll give you just two more. Another is we value the partnership that we have with accountants to the degree that we actually give them the best price period on QuickBooks for their clients. So for those of you who haven't checked out the QuickBooks Online Accountant wholesale offer, I'd strongly encourage you to do that. It's a 50% discount on QBO in perpetuity. No other discount we have is in perpetuity.
Right.
And we do that because of the value that accounting professionals bring and because of the partnership that we have with accounting professionals.
So just to clarify that, because that's actually one of the benefits that me and my firm use. If a small business owner goes out and buys QuickBooks Online.
Yes.
And depending on the date on which you watch this video, they're paying, let's say, $50 a month for QuickBooks Online Plus. They bought it on their own, and they can bring the accountant in, and the accountant doesn't have to be involved in the billing process. That could be an Intuit client relationship, and you can keep it like that. But certain accountants say, let me take over the cost of that, and I'm going to pay 50% of what you would effectively pay. They don't have to communicate that to their clients.
That's right.
They could just take over the cost of that and possibly include it in their monthly accounting fees.
That's right.
Or, assuming they're bringing a brand new client into QuickBooks Online, they can make it also part of their engagement. And some accountants here in the council, actually, interesting enough, they resell that. And Intuit doesn't have any limitations on that. Like you can resell.
Like you can pass on that discount. Is that what you mean?
You can pass on the discount, or you can have it as a line item in your invoice. I mean, there could be some challenges depending on the state and whether or not you have to charge sales tax. That's another sort of complicated thing.
I'll leave that one to you.
Right, but so you could charge client for QuickBooks Online. You can pay for it yourself. The client can pay for it on their own. I mean, there's total flexibility around that. But if you choose to take on the cost, what you're saying is you're giving us a 50% discount on the product, right?
You got it.
Because it is a drastically different business model for a lot of, let's call it old school accountants that are used to paying one huge lump sum for software, whether it's tax software or QuickBooks desktop software. And now it's a different model. Like you're no longer buying software, you're now paying a subscription for a service. So let me ask you a question for those folks that may be already using QuickBooks Desktop, and that's the fundamental software that they use to prepare financial statements, to do bookkeeping. What is the true value proposition behind telling them, hey, you no longer are going to pay one-time fee, get one-time software, and now you have to pay per client. I mean, so what's the fundamental value that that adds to any accountant to move to QuickBooks Online? Like,
Yeah.
why am I encouraged, or why should I be encouraged to pay for that, or ask the client to pay for a monthly service instead of a one-time fee software?
Yeah, and this actually fits into that fourth pillar I was going to hit earlier, which is our goal is to make QuickBooks Online as streamlined, as efficient as possible for accounting professionals and bookkeepers. The answer to your question is, first and foremost, what we hear is that it's all online. There's no sharing a file, there's no hosting, and all the hosting costs are just non-existent as
No
it
need for
relates
backup.
to no need for backup, none of that. It's all online, and you both, your client and you have instant access to the latest information. It's difficult, we've heard from accountants and bookkeepers, to help clients make good decisions if they're not working on the latest information.
Correct.
And so that immediate access to the shared information all online in the same place is by far the number one reason we see accountants and bookkeepers adopting QuickBooks Online. And small business owners are living in an ever increasingly mobile environment. They want to get things done on the go. QuickBooks Online has an amazing mobile app that small businesses use regularly, and when they're not able to do something through their phone, they just log in online whenever they get home or wherever they are. So it enables your client to live the lifestyle that they're looking for, and enables you to live the lifestyle that we're looking for.
Right.
One of the things that we've also heard from our most progressive accountants is that they're starting to have distributed staff. So they don't need staff all physically in one office.
The remote workers.
That's
and,
exactly
yeah.
right. Yeah, which gives them tremendous amount of flexibility to hire the right talent for their practice.
Right. And interesting enough, it's also one of the main reasons why small business owners want QuickBooks Online, because they themselves have a distributed staff. So the premise is, and I just want to get this right, the premise is that the additional cost of putting your accounting on the cloud and paying a monthly subscription on it, it's way below the additional value that you get by not having to share files back and forth, having instant online access.
Yeah.
You have a commitment to make the product better and better and better.
That's exactly right.
So in essence, being on the cloud has other inherent values, like
You
connecting
always
to
have
the bank,
latest access.
yeah, connecting to the bank
That's
immediately, and possibly using 2+ million users of
Yeah.
metadata to understand how some small business classify their accounts and stuff like that, to maybe push some suggestions, saying, hey, other mechanics are classifying this as cost of goods sold, this and that. And that's essentially what you guys are going to start doing,
Yeah,
work
you're
with that
hitting on a
metadata.
big
Right.
element of our vision. We talk a lot about the power of many for the prosperity of one.
Yeah.
But we've got millions of small business owners using QuickBooks. Just the fact that we have access to that information enables us to your point, make recommendations that nobody else can make to help small businesses make better decisions.
That's
and
right.
help accounting professionals position themselves as that expert, that advisor that they're looking for. So we're really excited about the future,
Right.
and you've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly where we see ourselves going.
So you will also, to wrap things up, because
Yeah.
the future is one of the really cool things, artificial intelligence and
Yeah.
machine learning, and I mean all those things are. Some people get anxious about that, and some people get very excited about that. So in the future, you plan to use some of that metadata, right? Like not specific, not client
It's
data,
not specific,
right?
that's
Metadata,
right.
like global metadata,
Aggregated.
data to see what the customers are doing, how they're behaving, and possibly shape the software to maybe skip some of those steps. Like I was, we're hearing in broad concepts, and Rich was telling me that if you notice that 90% of, let's say, realtors first create an invoice and then they go to whatever, reconcile the bank, let's say that's where it is, that you almost like automate those workflows and tell the user saying, hey, after you did the invoice, I think, do you want to go reconcile your bank? I mean, just an example. So you can actually even use a usage behavior to sort of prompt the next step or automate the next steps.
That's right. I mean, you can, and there's so many small examples I could give you. I mean, if accounting professionals have niche businesses and niche portfolios. You can imagine when you add a new client, the chart of accounts is just whatever it is that you want it to be,
Right.
because you carry that across your clients. Well, we can learn that about you, and we
Right.
can automatically do that for
Right.
you. When you think about practice management, today accounting professionals are identifying and then entering all the work they need to get done. But if we observe your patterns and your behaviors, we can recommend work for you based on what we see you do. We can automatically assign it to your staff. We can
Right.
let you know when things are at risk. Within accounting itself, benchmarking. Just imagine the work we can do to help you focus your guidance based on what other businesses just like your clients are doing.
Right.
It really enables you to be like that super firm
Right.
that uses the power of millions of small businesses and the data of millions of small businesses in an aggregate way, to help your clients make good decisions.
Thank you very much, Ariege.
Thank you,
for
Hector.
making time.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you for the interview.
For
Have a good
sure.
day. Bye.